Hey, this is Mike with DRUMline. I'm with Chris Frazier, who's had quite an extensive career. Currently with Foreigner, but has played with Steve Vai, Whitesnake, a lot of different bands.
There was there was like a wine ads back in the '80s in Los Angeles called The Recycler, and
Sure,
I moved to LA, and within like a week I got a gig at Guitar Center, so I was actually one of the salesmen at Guitar Center, and there was like a lot of time at the Guitar Center, like Monday mornings and stuff. There's nobody there, and so I would have the want ads out, and I would be looking at people seeking musicians and drummers and stuff like that, and so there was an ad for this guy who wanted the ad read wanted rock drummer familiar with odd meters, call Marty, and it said something about under the direction of Steve Vai, and I was like, well, that sounds interesting, and so I called him, and he lived way out in Sylmar, which is kind of like ranch country in LA.
Okay.
And I drove out there, all my drums in the back of my Audi, and
the typical drum,
Yeah.
too small of a car.
yeah, just falling out of the windows, and I got to the house, and this guy answered the door, and he set up in the garage. We started playing, and he started throwing all these like crazy like linear things at me, that I'd never really played in anything that was like in 7/16, 5/16, things like that. So it was very choppy and very linear and very Berkeley School of Music kind of stuff, and so I just kind of played it how I felt it, and he went, hold on a minute, I'm gonna go get my roommate, and his roommate was Steve Vai. Brings in this guy.
So it was under the
Vai.
direction of Steve Vai.
Steve was his roommate, and so
Literally.
Steve sits down and starts playing guitar and starts jamming with me and stuff, and I'm trying to keep up, and I'm doing my best, and we jammed for about 10 minutes or something, and then he stopped and he goes, "Want to do some recording?" And that was basically how I got into the business. I was in town for 2 weeks and just answered the right want ad and just kind of, I apparently did something right. I mean, he basically said, when he was playing the Attitude song, and the way that I approached the Attitude song was a very John Bonham kind of way, where I just played 4 and just let him do this thing that phrased past the bar line over the top.
Okay.
And no one had done that. Everyone was like
Too complicated.
subdividing it,
Okay.
playing it like Bill Bruford and things like that. And,
Okay.
and I did it for a second, and then I kind of busted into this like real big heavy crush groove, and he liked that. He wanted that on his record, and so we started working together, and that's pretty much how we began working together. I ended up being his roommate. I moved into the house, and we did tons of recordings, tons of gigs, and it was like a very interesting time for me. And that's kind of how I got my start, doing sessions with him, and then before you know it, I'm doing sessions with other people in LA, and working in the studio with him was very demanding, and it kind of it was almost like going to Navy SEAL training for musicians.
Sure.
Because when I came out of that, I could do anything else pretty easily, without too much consequence. And so that's the Steve Vai story, long story short, we've done 10 records together and 4 or 5 tours all over the world, and still a great friend of mine. I just saw him in Tel Aviv about 2 months ago, and we hung out and had dinner, him and me and Jeremy. And,
Jeremy Colson.
Oh yeah, Jeremy's the
Another
greatest
groove
guy.
master, yeah.
Such a nice cat.
I talked to him for 1 second because he took Eric Sardinas out on him and I knew Eric a bit, and
I
he
played with Eric too.
Oh, did you? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I played on 2 of his
props
records.
to Eric Sardinas. Which? Oh, really? I got to go back and read the credits.
I'm on Sticks and Stones, and I'm on Black Pearls. I'm
Oh
on
my
both
goodness!
those records.
I saw Black Pearls today. I'm going through my CDs, and he
Uh-huh.
signed it for me. And I'm like, oh my god, I haven't listened to this CD for a while. But
Yeah,
Eric Sardinas is
Eric's one of my dearest friends.
the rockingest resonator guy that ever lived. He's evil blues guy. He's just-
Well,
not evil, but
That's definitely
his persona.
his
His persona.
But maybe I shouldn't. I don't want
Yeah,
to blow his cover or
don't
anything
blow his
like that.
cover.
But he's a goofy guy. He's really funny. He's like loves to laugh, and he's probably the biggest. But between him and Jeff Pilson, I've never seen 2 guys that like to pull pranks on people more than those
Really?
two. Yeah,
I didn't know about the pranks, but I've seen Eric at shows, and he'll come up to everybody. He's just, thanks for coming, and he's just so generous, You guys, I tell you what, here's one thing I wanted to bring up. Attitude, guys at the top, professional attitude, not only in your playing, but I mean the way you guys carry yourselves.
Yeah.
You always, everybody that I've met, like 99%, you know, just super nice people, generous, considerate. I mean, I think these rock drummers are going to be walking around with attitude, but it's such a professional way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
How do you, is that your parents? Is that what you learn in the business? Is that just?
Well, yeah. I mean, my parents were very polite, nice people. I was brought up to be very respectful to other people and humble about, if I was good at something. I was always taught to be very humble. My mother was a great folk singer,
Okay.
And my grandfather was the first test pilot for United Airlines and did all kinds of aeronautical breakthroughs. He invented all kinds of things for airplanes and jets and stuff, but he always had a very down-to-earth kind of attitude about the way he dealt with people. And, generally musicians nowadays I don't think that a lot of musicians who were dickheads work very much anymore,
Okay.
because
Right.
it's half of it's about how well you work with others and how considerate you are with other people. On a tour like this with all these superstars, you got to be cool, you got to be a nice person and considerate. I think that people who are jerks don't work very much.
The guys that they're professional guys that are successful, it takes a certain kind of person.
To be successful too, you can't ever doubt what you're doing, and you have to strive to be the best at what you do. And when I was first starting out in the business, I never said no to anything. I did everything. Anything that was offered to me, I did it. Even if it didn't pay, I did all of it. And what ended up happening was that I just got a reputation as having a very strong work ethic and being able to do anything. And I just looked at everything as a learning experience, whether I got paid or whether I didn't get paid. And the more you do that, all of a sudden the paid gigs start rolling in, because all of a sudden everybody knows your name and everybody's been using you, and it's just like it's a really good way to do it. You can't sit at home and wait for the phone to ring either. You gotta get out there and play and get out there and meet people. It's the name of the game. I played with Whitesnake years ago.
Yeah, I actually went to that concert in '87, and you have an '87
Yeah,
shirt
this is a
on.
1987
So
Whitesnake.
Tommy Aldridge was in the band and is back
That's
in the
right,
band. But
that's
you
right.
played in Whitesnake for what
I did.
period?
I played in 2007 to 2010.
Okay.
And we were doing a show about 2 weeks ago down in Florida, and some fans came backstage, and we were all hanging out and talking and chatting a little bit. And one of them was this girl. This girl had this Whitesnake shirt on. It was a little big on her, She's kind of small. And I said, "Oh, you get that? That's a really cool Whitesnake shirt." She goes, "Oh yeah, you like it? It's from 1987. It's my ex-husband's. I stole it from him when we got a divorce." And I was like, "Oh really?" And I was wearing a rock and roll Gangstar shirt. Because I really like those rock and roll Gangstar shirts, and I can't find them. They're really hard to find. And I was like, "Well, trade you."
Traded it straight up.
She took her shirt right off. Boobs were out. It was just such a rock and roll moment. I took my shirt off. I gave it to her, and so. Isn't that a Whitesnake kind
That's
of
how
story?
you got into Whitesnake. That was the audition. We're in the parking lot. You know how you come up to a concert and you hear the band, somebody's playing on their stereo. I swear to God, I thought it was coming out of somebody's car, because it's real windy out there. It's kind of faint, and I got out, and I'm like, that sounds too good. And it was actually Foreigner, and it was like a half a mile away. It was past the hill. It's windy as hell out here. And it sounded so amazing,
Thanks.
there. So, I can't imagine.
Thank you very much.
You
Were
treated
a
us-
sound check today or something?
It was a
like
sound
that?
check. It was a couple songs you were sound checking
Oh
at
yeah.
5:30.
We were just kind of tweaking the snare in because we've been trying a bunch of different things, and so today we got it. I think we got it really dialed in. It's great sounding today.
So the groove. I love your. Well, I've seen you play a couple times with the Bonzo.
But yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Thank
saw-
you.
and,
Thanks very much.
The first time Todd Burr did Nam the next day, he was like, "Yeah, this is Chris Frazier from Foreigner," and I was like, "Well, you played the entire show last night." And we were laughing about it because you played 3 songs.
Yeah.
And
Well, we kind of mashed them together. It was like one really long song, but yeah.
it lasted
It was
20 minutes.
A Whole Lot of Love, The Crunge, something else. There was something else thrown in there. That was the first time I did Bonzo Bash.
But to come out and kick off that show.
Yeah,
with all those
there was a
guys.
little pressure there, But they sort of got me off the hook the second time. I played the Wonton song. I love the Wonton song. Great.
So anyway, that was a treat. But today's gonna be fantastic because we got you were treated us to the center front row, and I grew up on this, and I guess you did too.
Yeah, absolutely.
This music.
Yeah, I was in let's see, junior high school when feels like the first time it came out. So made an impression on me then. It's still making an impression on me now.
Yeah, it's got to be a thrill for you. How long have you been in now, Foreigner?
It'll be 2 years in September.
Oh, okay.
Beginning of
It
September.
seems like
It'll be
forever,
2
but
years,
because it just the way it sounded today
It
was
just seems like I got the gig yesterday, to be honest with you.
Oh,
It's
did
been
it?
the quickest 2 years of my life. Because we work so much, we do so many shows and travel so much.
Well, you had a really cool Tonight Show gig.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That was really neat. Because it was like, instead of playing 1 or 2 songs, you played like a very good medley. So kind of reminded everybody of the hits.
4.5 minute medley of 4 songs. Yeah, and it was actually worked pretty well, going from one thing to the next. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I still have that on my DVR. I can't figure out how to copy it. And it's one of those shows that's like one of the last Jay Leno shows. I think it was like
sure.
3 weeks later, Jay Leno was off the air after that. So it was kind of a historical event. And if anybody knows how I can get a copy of that, please let me know.
Well, see if we can do something. I don't know if I can call that Tonight Show. I have no pull there. This is this soundtrack of Summer tour.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is it not the soundtrack of Summer?
It is.
Foreigner Styx and Don Felder.
Yeah.
And actually, my buddy's opening up, Jimmy Griffin, a kid I know from
okay.
St. Louis here.
Yeah.
But
I haven't met him yet.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, you'd want talk to him if you get a chance. They
Yeah,
do the Pink Floyd stuff they're real famous for, but his original stuff, he's great.
Cool.
But anyway, back to the soundtrack of Summer. I mean, it's Hit City tonight.
Every song's a hit.
Yeah, what are you guys playing that's not on the radio, just to make it easier on you?
Nothing.
Nothing. Every song you know. That's just so rare.
Yeah, all the Don Felder songs that he had something to do with writing with the Eagles, he's doing. But I think he's actually doing quite a short set. He's like doing a 45-minute set, so he's not even doing his whole set. But every song that he's playing, every one of them's an Eagles hit. Every one of the songs that we're playing is a Foreigner hit, and then Styx as well. Styx, it's just one hit after another. You'll recognize every song tonight.
Well, I don't know if I should bring this up, but I play the radio, that pop radio for my dogs. And it's like, there's nothing, I cannot listen to it. It's like the pop hits, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not even music. And is it dog torture? I don't know. I mean, I hate to say dog torture, but you know what I mean? I think they don't like it. But it's like, it's that background blah, blah music that's just not interesting. But I mean, thank God, like you guys are still playing. Not that you shouldn't still be playing, but I mean, it's like the enduring music endures. Let's put it that way. Is that my point?
I think dogs have really good taste in music.
Okay.
And so if it's something that they don't like, then chances are it sucks.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying.
you shouldn't listen to it.
But I mean, the enduring music endures. I mean, these songs are so great. But I saw Foreigner 4 when it came out, and I actually was in the front row in Kansas City, and it was raining, and it was surreal, and it was just so weird to be like. It was an amazing concert. It was like all overcast, and it rained, but people like took off, so I ended up like in the front row, and I bought Foreigner 4. I mean, I hate to say it, but I had a lot of Foreigner records, but that one I don't think I had.
Yeah.
And I bought that one like 2 years ago, and I listened to that thing front to back, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe how great this record is. And I knew it, but to listen to it again, and to see it played live again, it's so good. The music is so good.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because we're going to be doing a series of shows in Atlantic City where our set is going to be comprised primarily of songs from Foreigner 4. But, originally we were going to do Foreigner 4 in its entirety, but now it's kind of changed, and we're going to do most of Foreigner 4 and then some, I guess. I think it's Foreigner 4 and then some is what they're going to call that particular series of gigs. But I think it's 2 shows at the end of September in Atlantic City, if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm going to get to play all those cool songs. It's going to be different from what we're doing now. This is actually the set we're doing tonight is pretty short. It's
really?
80 minutes, and normally our set's about an hour and a half.
Okay. But it's such a great lineup tonight. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your dressing room time.
Oh, no,
But we can-
by all means, man. Thanks for coming, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Oh.
And hello to everybody at home, and I don't know if you have any kind of video uploading things that you're doing with DRUMline, but I've been recording all of the shows on GoPro cameras now.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm going to be editing them with the board tapes, board mixes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Then it's
and-
less for me to do. But are you implying that if you have something, you will
Yeah.
send it to me and I can upload that?
Yes.
I would love to.
Okay.
And Drumline's interactive. That's one thing that we try to get across to the guys. It's like, I don't just come out here and be like, my agenda. I want you to input and feel like that you can put up, oh, here's my picture, or I've got a thing coming out, or we did a show and here's my thing. And so just, it's more of an interactive thing. It's a two-way street.
Sure.
So feel free. It's a tool for you.
Cool.
So anything you want to put up there, I mean, I'm a big fan of yours and you're a wonderful guy.
Thanks, man.
And
Thanks for the interview.
thank you
Nice
so
talking
much.
to you. Bye-bye.